current methods that they're currently using, but they're either unsafe or costly. And when I'm talking about unsafe, on the left you can see that there's a pole camera that they're trying to avoid getting shot at, but you can see those two gentlemen in the back there, they're still exposed to the windows back there. And the guy who's with the pole camera, he doesn't have his weapon ready. On the right, you can see there's a bomb defusal robot. In Dallas, they used a bomb defusal robot to find a suspect that was hiding inside of a parking garage. But unfortunately, that thing costs $100,000. And if it gets damaged for whatever reason, you're down a bomb defusal robot that's used for other purposes. Most of these SWAT officers, they're guys rotating back from Iraq, Afghanistan, so they're used to a Predator drone that's able to pinpoint with exact precision what a suspect is, or what an insurgent in that case is doing, down to the littlest details. But unfortunately, they're limited by price. You know, these things cost multi-millions of dollars. And police helicopters, everyone knows that, you know, those major departments in the major cities have helicopters ready. But in these small to medium-sized police departments, they just don't have access to those resources. So we're really looking to get towards the middle area by providing drones to tactical officers so that they're able to use a helicopter-like tool, but at a much more reasonable cost. And so what we're looking to do is provide a curated, tiered vendor list that they can choose from to procure drones. Other than that, we are also training officers on how to use these drones after they procured them from these vendors. This is what we can train officers to look for. And I don't know if you can notice, but there are two suspects right here. And this was shot from a drone with a thermal camera. And this is something that officers wish they could have. And so, onto the opportunity, the firm PwC up in Boston estimates that the drone services industry amounts to $127 billion. And of that, 10% is going to drone security. And just estimated within New England alone, in terms of small to medium-sized police departments, that it's a $1 million market. And so our business model and our tiered vendor list, we can talk about that in the appendices that follow this. We need $7,000 in initial funds to be able to procure some test bed drones to be able to use. We require some other introductions that we can go on after the presentation. This is our team. It's a student-led, veteran-founded team. This is our company mentors that are involved in our project. Really, we would really look for some mentors in the as-a-service industry. We're really new to this, and so we'd definitely love to get some help from there. Thank you so much for listening to my pitch. Really, the biggest question that I get from everyone is why? This business is important to us because we want to bring police departments into the 21st century. Officer fatalities have been rising in recent years, and we want to provide officers with the best tools possible to ensure that no one is going to be dying today. Thank you. All right. Do you have any questions?
So what you're suggesting, if I'm understanding, is the drones themselves are gonna be your drones. So you're providing it as a service. Well, when you say drone as a service, so like you're gonna own the drones, you're gonna let the police forces use them and create a service around the drone?
So not quite. So what we're going to do is provide a curated list, kind of like an Amazon, but for drones, so that they can choose for that. Our service comes in that we have a reserve fleet of drones ready to help them out as needed, but our specific service is that we're training officers, and really that's where our recurring revenue is.
So it's not drone as a service, it's drone support as a service.
So yes.
All right, so that's.
So just I was simplifying it down to just.
Yeah, no, I get it. I just because I'm thinking of it as the actual drone as the service.
Yeah. So definitely that's where we want after scaling. We definitely want to reach that certain area. Mm-hmm. Right now, since we're looking for just this initial capital, that's what we're working on, is building up a strong revenue model so that we can then scale up. Because we're really looking to become like the ambulance service, but for drones.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So police department would call you and say, we need a drone.
Mm-hmm.
Or we would already have a drone. They would already have drones in the department?
We can help them purchase the drones.
So they would look at the approved vendor list,
Mm-hmm.
and they would say, we want the
Yep.
blah 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 drone. They would order it, they'd have it on the
Yeah,
shelf.
so right
Okay.
here, we have a tier 3, 2, and 1 vendor list, kind of like a gold, silver, and platinum levels. And so each one is really fitted towards a certain type, usually local, low cost, affordable option, state level, has a little bit more money, and this is probably at the federal level.
Okay.
So,
Yep.
how do you protect your business model if this is a part of it? As in, I can imagine, okay, there's a few different big police departments, they go out, they buy all of them.
Yep.
All right, and they agree, you know, for this tier, that tier, whatever, they produce lists and they all share information.
Yeah,
and
so-
et cetera.
What we're gonna have is that we are certifying these vendors. We are saying that we are the certification.
They can even turn around and tell the other police departments, oh, this drone's certified by those guys.
What's that?
They could even, so Nashua could turn around and tell Boston, well, you know, we bought this drone and we recommend it, Boston. It's even certified by George.
I'd love to talk with you offline about this. There's a lot more nuance to this because they would be. We're basically what we're working on is providing a curated list that these officers. We're partnering with TOAs, certain unions and associations to basically say if you buy from these certain vendors, you get a certain discount, and they pay us because we give them leads. And so that's kind of the partnership that we're building, both at the department level because they're paying us for training, and at the vendor level, they're paying us because we're getting them into the door, into a market that they really haven't been able to access. In terms of our business model, this is for the departments, and so this is a lot of information. But the main gist of it is that we're going to be providing training for departments and potentially other services, and that's for the departments, but we're also having this curated list of tiered vendors that we can work with to be able to partner with
So
and
the,
provide drones.
the training I get, I guess,
Mhm.
is basically I see this being, you know, your list being diluted, just essentially going into the public domain, if you will.
So what we have that other people don't is that we are going to be partnering with the Attorney General of each state and coming up with a list of guidelines that basically says, like, this is how they're going to be using these specific drones and what specifications they need. A lot of SWAT departments, they're having trouble with procuring drones because they really don't know a lot about what's going on. And a lot of these companies, you know, they've got to reach a certain criteria before departments are comfortable with purchasing from them. And so we really want to just clarify that and say that they're an Iron Legion approved company. And that, you know, out of the New Hampshire Tactical Officers Association, they say that the Iron Legion has vetted all of these companies. They are good to go on purchasing.
I'm not sure how police forces buy things, but to me, I would say the model here is if you own if the drones if you lease the drones to these police forces, certifying them, supporting the product, it's gonna be a different presentation than someone buying a drone and then just getting training for it, right? So if they have 6 on lease, maybe you charge them $30 a month, whatever, I don't know what it is, whatever. Then you support that drone, and then maybe they want the thermal capabilities, maybe they want other things,
Yeah.
and have it be a recurring cost to them. Because the thing, at least my thought is that the police don't want to, they're going to buy one, then drones I would assume become obsolete over certain short periods of time because the technology is getting better and better all the time. That's the advantage of doing it as a service.
They're gonna
Yeah.
They're
So-
going to get the latest and greatest models from you as opposed to having to keep going out and buy more.
Yeah, so definitely like part of our thing is that there's also the service and maintenance contracts, which includes upgrades over time. And so if a department wants to put down $1,000 each year and say, hey, you guys, this is, you know, you guys are going to maintain this, upgrade this over time, all the newest gadgets, you guys are on top of this, because these departments, they just don't have the time.
But that's your value add though, is the fact that you are on top of it.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
You should be giving them the drones as part of it. I know financially, right, because you want to come out of the gate and you don't want it to be
Yeah.
over the top expensive. But if you could provide the drones in a partnership with these other companies,
Yep.
buying them for less than they can buy them because you've got these agreements.
Right.
And
Yeah,
volume.
absolutely.
But now you've got a niche that is harder for someone to compete.
Mhm.
This model here can be copied in 2 minutes, right? I'm not saying
Mhm.
not
Yeah,
your
absolutely.
contacts, but I mean, anyone could just
Mhm.
get a
Of course,
list of
of
drones
course.
and then also do training,
And become a consultant.
right?
Yeah.
So, how,
that-
have you looked at how police departments buy and purchase and?
Yeah, so we're working with the Nashville Police Department. They're gonna be our first prospective customer. And so, really what we're looking at is trying to create this cultivated list so that they can choose from there. And then we're basically hand-holding them across the way, right? This is a change, and for most departments, change is difficult, right? And we're trying to hand-hold them through, yes.
No, but I agree with where Josh was going completely, because
Mhm.
it may be, in all honesty, that it could be that it's very easy for somebody at a lower level to like write a lease for small
Mhm.
dollars.
Mhm.
And then you stay inserted in the process, because that's
Yeah.
actually.
You own
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
product,
So
the client,
okay.
everything, and then you
Mhm.
continue, because what happens is the word spreads, oh, we're using a third party to provide our drones,
Yeah,
then other companies wanna use that third party for the drones, but right now, all they'd be saying is we're buying the drones and then we're getting consulting from these guys.
And
I definitely understand.
It's-
It's just that I don't have the initial capital to be able to.
So, but that's your deterrent though, right, is to,
capital entry.
Yeah. And so right now.
what do these drones go for, I mean,
These are pretty expensive. Some of them go between, the base level is around $5,000, and at the high end, probably around $100,000 within like feasible range. And so as much as I'd love to work on this leasing model, and definitely that's a conversation that I've had, this is definitely a scaling, after scaling. It's not an investment. I personally invested $2,000 into working on this project.
sure.
And I bought a simple drone to be able to test bed some things on, but it's just not as good enough as getting like one of those big fleet of drones. And I unfortunately can't afford
Right, no,
to
understood,
put that on the table.
yeah. So,
Mhm. So unfortunately, this is the beginning. Once we become revenue positive, we make around $100,000 a year. Then I can start.
so you
Funding
really,
scale.
this is a good business model, by the way, to be
Mhm.
consultants in an industry, prove yourself as the expert.
Yeah.
And you really don't need a business plan to be consultants, because you're just going out and getting recurring revenue
Yeah.
that you're
Yeah.
gonna get from these other people.
Mhm.
Then when you're big enough and you have the ability to scale or to raise money.
Mhm. Yeah.
But to me, the consulting thing doesn't need a lot of this, it just needs credibility and the
Mhm.
right people, you and your
Yeah.
partner, to be able to present this to people.
Yeah, and so let me break down what the initial
Yeah,
seed
yeah, so
money
you
that
can do
the
this
7,000
stuff,
that I'm asking for. 3,000 is to procure a test drone, maybe
Sure.
potentially 2, for example, just because most police departments, they always ask us, do you have a demonstrator ready for us?
Right.
that we
Sure,
can see these?
right, of course, yeah.
$3,000 is to design the curriculum and legal counsel, because a lot of these officers, they don't know about the laws. There's Fourth Amendment privacy rights, all these sort of things. $2,000 for Part 107, and then all of these various other funds.
Mhm.
We personally put in $2,000 already, so some of these have been covered between now and creating this presentation.
Adaptations on the top line there,
Mhm.
what kind of adaptations? I mean, you're gonna do anything for like optics, for like thermal imaging and stuff?
Yeah, so absolutely. So one of the things that we're looking to do on test drones is that we're putting on Picatinny rails onto drones, and that's something that's on top of rifles
Yeah.
that you see most police departments use. So they are already accustomed to being able to use these, and it's just really easy and simple for them. And it's a really easy and simple modification for us because most of these things can be 3D printed.
Are there a lot of competitors in this space?
Actually, no, because most of these guys are either going too high or too low. In that they're either giving a $100,000 option, and these departments will say, "Whoa, no way, we don't want anything to do with that." And then they say, "Here's a $100 drone," and they're like, "Am I getting like a hot rod toy?" Right? And so we're really just trying to get these companies who are in the middle. They're out there. They're just in the wrong market. A lot of them are going to either ag tech or infrastructure. It's big money in there, but they're leaving behind some of this big market that exists in law enforcement. So we're just really trying to bring these vendors and these departments together.
I think that's all the time for questions we have.
Great.
Thank you very
Thank
much, judges.
Thank you
George,
so much.
thank you
I'd
very
love
much.
to connect
Good
with you
luck,
guys
yeah.
offline
Yeah.
to talk with this
Thank
further.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Really enjoyed that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.